I wanted to go ahead and put together a little video on how to assemble and disassemble the SkySki. First time I bought one, I never had any instructions. It just came in a bunch of boxes. Anyways, I'm not sure if you already know how to do this or not. I'm just gonna put this together in case you are a beginner and have never done this before, because I do have to disassemble it for shipping. So the cover, put the front wings in first. Pull this towards the back. I'm getting the corner in opposite where the zipper starts first. Then I'm going to take and zip it up. This only goes on one way. You're going to have some extra there in case you ever get a longer T-bar. This is shaped based on the contour of the wings, but that's how the cover goes on. I always use a cover when we're traveling. Usually just have the SkySki sitting in the floor of the boat with it covered. Anyway, so that's how that works. There are a bunch of, basically everything connects with an Allen wrench type bolt head. So the two sizes that we're gonna use, we got 7/32 and 3/16. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this down and take the seat off. Actually, take the T-bar off first. Okay, so this is the 7/32, and I'm actually going to flip this around. We may not even need to use the tool for that. So yeah, you may need to use the tool, you may not need to. I was able to loosen that by hand. You do want these nice and tight when you put it back together so that the T-bar doesn't move in relation to the seat tower. So we're just going to loosen those up a little bit. I am backing that off a little bit with the Allen socket on the back side. This is a safety pin in case somehow those loosen up. You don't lose your whole foil setup. Now that those are loosened up, this pulls out. I'm going to put this safety clip back in the seat tower so that we don't lose that. We're going to scoot the foil over for just a minute. Now the bottom has, these are called D-nuts. They fit down here, and grooves specifically made for those. And this is going to be the smaller size, the 3/16. Now, it is important to not put thread lock on these. You don't want them to lock up. Over time, they can get kind of seized. So if anything, put a little bit of grease on there. A little bit of marine grease or anti-seize compound. There's still a little bit on there. You could definitely put more. I would suggest using a hand tool. I've got this little tiny 1/4-inch ratchet that I'm upsizing to 3/8-inch sockets. Sometimes people can over tighten these things and strip the bolts or the D-nuts and different things like that. I don't know the exact torque specs, but just tighten it down good. You're supposed to check these. I don't always do it, but a good rule of thumb is to check these when you go out on the water every time before you get in, before you throw the ski in and hook up. The last one, same as the other ones. Now when you go to put this back on, see how it's got this cut out? The foil assembly slides in there. Okay, you want to you want to center it up with this. These little aluminum spacers stay in there. But when you go to assemble this, when you can kind of see where the seat tower's set, but if you look kind of right down through this opening and just kind of eyeball it, go back and forth, you can get that centered up pretty good. Okay, so this is all taken apart. You can see here where the D-nuts go in. And if we need to take this apart, we've got 3 there, 2 there. This is a one-piece T-bar. There are 2 pieces where you can take it apart there, but this one is solid, which is better. I'm gonna go ahead and take the wings off. This is the 3/16 Allen ratchet. Installation is just opposite of that. There is a notch in this wing, so there's really only one way it can go. And the rear is going to be the same way. Now this has a little shim in here, a little dime. This gives you a little bit more lift. Certainly welcome to put that back in or leave it out. These bolts are shorter than the ones for the front wing, the bigger wing. And these are replaceable, so you can see where that dime was. These bolts are replaceable if you go to a specialty like hardware shop. We have one here local to me. It's called like Nut and Bolt House or something like that. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put these in here so that they are not lost. I got this all polished up, but it was a little bit dirty underneath those. Those wings. I'm also going to put the D-nuts back in the board too, so that there's no question at all about where those ended up. Those just pop in there like that. And if you can see my fingers, this is anti-seize compound. You may or may not want to put a dime under there as a shim, and you can definitely play around with it. I'm just going to put it in this piece of blue tape and just tape it right here to the board. No, it's just a dime. But anyways, that's where it's at.